What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Tuesday. I'm finally back with my NBA DFS picks of the day. We got my Money 6 again here, my 6 favorite plays. And yeah, I got it broken down for you. So 6 guys, I'm extremely high, and I think they set up nicely based on their price tags. How everything has been going on this year and recently for them, minutes-wise, usage rate-wise, matchup-wise, everything considered. So before we get going, if you're excited for the videos to be back, go ahead and show some love to the like button. I'd really appreciate that. Let's try to get over like 40 likes. I'm not sure if anyone will even know I'm still alive because I haven't recorded a video for the past like 2 weeks. I was away I did go home. I didn't bring my my setup for recording videos. Went over Christmas break, and then I kind of fell out of the routine. So, and especially with a person like me, once I get in a routine, then everything just becomes second nature. But once I fall out of that routine, it's easier for me to slack off. But we're back here again with the play. So let's hop right into it. So obviously, we got the 3 superstars at the top: Harden, Luka, and Giannis. I mean, you can take your pick if you want to pay for them. I'm not going to recommend one of them because I think we can make a build like besides them, and then you can kind of make your pick if you want to go with them, because I do have 2 really good value plays. If they do pan out, that could allow you to go up to pay up for one of those guys. So first off, though, we're going to go with Kyrie Irving. I think he could be a really good potential value for the slate, considering his price tag. His first game back, super efficient, was a blowout. Didn't need to play his full minutes with just 20 minutes, but he was still able to put up 11 shots, 32 DK points, and at 8,600 here, I feel like this is a really good price tag. It's not a great matchup, but just considering how high his usage rate was before he got hurt, like he was putting up a ton of shots per game. The same matchup against Utah before he got hurt. He played 37 minutes, put up 30 shots. He wasn't very efficient, obviously, but 30 shots in any matchup you'll take because of that potential upside. His assist rate was really good, 6.8 assists per game before he left for that long stretch with the shoulder injury, but he definitely looked good. I think they were just being precautionary with him, just based on things I've read. I'm just kind of guessing, but it seemed like they were just not really feeling like rushing him back, considering their season is already kind of a lost season to begin with without Kevin Durant. And if Kyrie wants to just kind of rest up and not overwork his body going into next year, you've got to let him do what he wants to do, I guess. I mean, him and Kevin Durant are really going to be the focal point of your team next year, so they'll give him the free reins. Got to keep him happy. And at 8,600 here, though, against Utah, their defense hasn't been their typical Utah self this year. They've been playing at a little bit more of a normal pace, a little bit more points allowed and scored. So I think Kyrie can get his, considering the matchup is not as bad as it has been in past years, and the price tag seems a bit good considering his upside of 50-plus DraftKings points. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. And I think John Collins sets up nicely at 8,300. I think he just has a better floor and ceiling for minutes, considering how they're using him more and the injuries that the Hawks have at their big man position without Jabari Parker, who was kind of maybe taking away a few of his minutes earlier in the year when he was playing well. Alex Len is doubtful for this game. So I think Collins can get a lot of run at the 4 or the 5 here tonight. And this is a Suns team that does play fairly big, considering they have Baines in the starting lineup and then Ayton off the bench. So they got 2 big men that play the whole entire game. One of those guys are on the court. So I think John Collins has to play a good amount here. Phoenix been pretty soft against centers so far this year. So I think Collins is a big double-double threat. His block numbers have been very good this year. And I think him and Trae Young will be a nice 1-2 punch in this game, with Trae Young expected to be back. The games should stay closer. It should be a fairly high-scoring game. Both teams don't play much defense between the Suns and the Hawks. And it should be a fairly fast-paced game. I think Collins can put up another double-double in this game and get us over 40 DK points. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. I think DAngelo Russell is another potential really good value here. Another guy similar to Kyrie. When the guy plays, he's very active on the court, putting up a lot of shots, and has really good upside. And 7,900 price tag is pretty solid considering how damn good he's been when he's played in the past few games. I mean, 50, 52, and 49 DK points in the same matchup against the Mavericks earlier this year on the 28th. Put up 35 points, 52 DK points, and it's a pretty good matchup against the Mavericks. So they're decent defensively. There's no one that's really worries you, though. Against DAngelo Russell on the perimeter, I think he'll be able to get his here and should have a fairly involved role again here. I mean, he's been playing pretty solid minutes, 35 minutes, 2 out of the last 3. Porzingis, I'm expecting him to be out, and that should be able to keep the game a little bit closer here at home in Golden State, so a better chance of staying close. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. Has a really good upside at that price tag. Like I said, 7,900 can definitely approach 50 DK points, which could be a really good value. And like I mentioned with Porzingis, likely out. I think Powell makes for a good potential value here at 5,500, coming off a really good game against the 76ers at 19-12, 37 fantasy points. And we just saw last game against this Golden State team, we saw Jonas Valanciunas go off for 70 DK points or close to there. Had a huge double-double. I don't think that Powell obviously reached close to that, but just shows how this matchup can be definitely taken advantage of for rebounds and potential points around the rim. I think Powell is always a guy that has shown some good ability to me whenever I've watched him play. Kind of a good modern center that's very athletic, can finish around the rim really well. And Golden State does play a little bit smaller, so I think Powell can take advantage of that with this athleticism and size around the rim for some easier finishes and be able to get some extra minutes with Porzingis likely out. I mean, obviously that could change. If he is playing, then I'll have to pivot off that. Pivot off Powell. I will tweet that out on Twitter in my pivot if Porzingis is ruled in. And so I'll tweet that out. So keep an eye on that at MoneyWebby on Twitter. But for now, assuming Porzingis is out, I mean, they don't really want to rush him back against Golden State, who's been one of the worst teams in the NBA. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fourth guy. Then I'm going to go with Ben McLemore, taking advantage of another guy being out in Russell Westbrook. And McLemore, he's always been able to step in whenever given his opportunity. Recently, been pretty solid scoring-wise with the minutes he's been given. 26 and 23 DraftKings points, 2 out of the last 3. And the coach came out and said he's going to be starting going forward. So I think McLemore could get close to 30 minutes again in this game. Decent matchup against Memphis, not a great defensive team. Houston has, I think, the highest implied total on the slate of 120 or so points. So McLemore, definitely some extra opportunities with Westbrook being out and just some extra minutes going his way. And I think whenever Westbrook has been out or one of these guys has been out of the lineup, whether it be House, Eric Gordon, McLemore has always been able to take advantage of injuries around him and step up with some more shots and being able to get some extra points. So I think at 3,500, really good potential value. And he's been a pretty good player for the Rockets this year. I think he'll be able to keep it going. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as a good value so you can pay up for one of the studs if you want to. Then we're going to go with Kevin Knox. Definitely more of a GPP play. Hasn't really done much at all this year, but coming off one of his best games of the year. Obviously been a bust so far for the Knicks, but if there's ever a game where you can build off, it was last game with 17 points, 27 DraftKings points, and I think this game will turn into a blowout against the Bucks. So Knox off the bench could get some extra run. With that considered, when they got smoked by the Jazz, he saw 29 minutes, didn't do much with it, but just the opportunity of 29 minutes for a guy at this price tag is sometimes it doesn't work your way, but you just got to take that when you can get it, and just hope he can hit a few more shots here. So, I mean, against Milwaukee in 2 games against them, he hasn't been too bad. I mean, he's averaged 21 DraftKings points. It's not a great total, but at 3,600, if he can give us over 20 DK, get close to 30, he can be a guy that really pays dividends if you pay for one of those studs and they go off and you have the value with Knox. And McLemore could be a really good pairing there. So I think this is a guy that has shown flashes in the NBA. He hasn't been great, obviously, but he can score when he gets it going. So blow-up potential off the bench. Marcus Morris is out for this game. Reggie Bullock is expected to start. He's a little bit banged up himself, so Knox maybe could work himself into a closer rotation with him and also can get the minutes with it being A game that could get ugly and the Bucks could get up big. So I'm going to go ahead and lock them in there as my final guy. So you got 6,300 remaining per player. Definitely, if you want to mix and match, like take out one of the guards or Collins and pay it for a stud, you can do whatever you want. But that's just my 6 guys that I think stand out the most to me value-wise and potential, just opportunity, and just the usage rate and everything considered at their price tag. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like on it if you did. Would really appreciate all the likes. Really goes a long way. And if you happen to be new here or aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more plays going forward. We'll have a more consistent schedule of videos going forward. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all you guys reaching out to me on Twitter, being like, where the hell are the videos? Thank you. It means a lot, guys. Motivated me to be back and recording these videos. But good luck here tonight. If anything changes with the plays, I'll comment on this video, the update. So if you scroll down there and you see any comments, have some of my updates to the plays, and I will tweet out on Twitter at MoneyWebby. So definitely follow me there for any updates as well. But good luck. We'll see you back here again next time.